I don't know how to take that. I still don't know how to take that. Yeah. Anyway, so I know I say it'll be short, but I'm going to have to rush through the first part. Just kind of a recap to get everybody up to where we are. Kind of left it on a cliffhanger last time. Not too much of a cliffhanger, but without the next step, so to speak. So I'll try to go in and discuss that a little bit as we go forward. Everybody gets situated, settled. So we're talking about information dominance and how do you perceive things, what does this information come from, and what do you do with it. So today you have a lot of different news feeds. You got Instagram, Facebook. I don't know if they do news report things on TikTok or all that. I wasn't part of the TikTok wave and all that. But you're getting a lot of news from a lot of different sources, some independent ones. You're getting fact-checked by everybody that's lying to you, and controlled opposition is what that is. So how do you break it down? How do you work for it? That was how we got to the information dominance. But ultimately, the purpose of that was to get down to what's true and what's not. Where are we being lied to at? Where are we being lied to from? Who's lying to us? So the truth, by definition, is just the quality or state of being true. That which is true or in accordance with fact or reality. A fact or belief that is accepted as true. You like how they added that last one in this year? Oh, if you accept it as true, then it is true. No, it's not how that works. But also lie, just an intentionally false statement. Who's been lied to? Everybody. Who's ever told the truth? It's like nobody. Everybody's been lied to, but nobody telling the truth. No, who's told a lie though? Everybody's told a lie. Yeah. So we're all familiar with the difference between truth and lies, so you don't have any excuses. But the truth today gets a little bit funny when you tell it. It gets perceived a little bit differently. So even in the Bible era, if you've never not believed in the Bible, now's the time, because it's just read it. You're like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like it's getting there. So John 8 says, and because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. So why did Jesus say that? He said, because I tell you the truth. What if it was somebody else that told him the truth? So the people perceived it as, who am I getting this information from? But because it's Jesus, I'm not going to believe it, even though I know it's probably true. So the source comes from something. So which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? So if he's telling them the truth, he's asking, why don't you believe me then? But in 2 Peter 2, but there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies. That means they're going to tell you things that they say is true, that's going to send you to hell, that should send them to hell, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, because they believe the lie, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. And that is the very important point I'm trying to make. The truth shall be evil spoken of. So because something is true and people don't like it, they're going to start backing up against it. They're going to start calling you names when you say the truth. They're going to start disliking you when you say the truth. They're going to stop talking to you because you tell the truth. But because you tell the truth, the one thing they won't do, and you'll notice this now that I'm bringing it to light, they'll never call you a liar. Watch and see. And as he thus spake for himself, Festus said with a loud voice, Paul, thou art beside thyself. Much learning doth make thee mad. So he said, Paul, you've figured out too much. You've got too much information. And now you're crazy. You're a conspiracy theorist, Paul. But he said, I am not mad, most noble Festus, but speak forth the words of truth and soberness. That is how truth is being perceived today. But Pilate said it best. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth heareth my voice. Pilate said unto him, What is truth? What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews, and said unto them, I find in him no fault at all. So the Jews say, it is true, this man is evil, he is worthy of death. And Pilate is talking to him saying, no, he's not. But they're saying, yes, he is. So even Pilate said, what is truth? What is truth? So then we went over what the truth was and where to find it, how to get it, how to decipher it, and how to break it down. And we broke it down into a different parable. I kind of did the parable a little differently than it's supposed to preach sometimes. And you have the truth and the lie and how to tell the difference, because a lot of times they're almost exactly the same. So you have the wheat. We all know about wheat, story of wheat, how it comes from. How it's grown, farms, cut down, turned into flour or whatever you want to use to make it. And then it makes bread. And then we send the bread to the supermarkets. And then we eat the bread. Sometimes we get a little too much of it, right? Then we have the tares that look exactly like the wheat, but are poisonous. So the parable is this. I'll read it again for context. Another parable put he forth unto them, saying, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. But while men slept, his enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. So somebody else came in who didn't like him, sowed the tares. But when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? From whence then hath it tares? So they're wondering, where did all these lies come from in a field of truth? And he said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The servants said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But what did he say? He said, nay, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. So if you go too fast and just discredit everything as a lie, sometimes you'll stop believing some things that are true also. But the enemy knows that as well. And they're going to use that against you also. But let both grow until the harvest. Just let them go until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I'll say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, first the lies, and bind them in bundles and burn them. But gather the wheat into my barn. So we get the parable. So waiting is what we talked about the most last time. Waiting. You don't immediately jump to decipher what's a truth or a lie. You wait, because the truth will always reveal itself, or a lie will always be found out. Take Gamaliel. I hope I'm saying his name right. Then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had a reputation among the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space, and said unto them, Ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. So he had some sense about them, as they wanted to kill the apostles. For before these days rode up Thaddeus, and I'll explain the story of Thaddeus, and after this man rode up Judas of Galilee. So these people got together, groups and followers, and then as soon as the times got hard or opposition was met, they all went away. So he's saying the same thing. These men came up, we waited till the harvest, and the harvest took care of itself. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, you can't overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against God. So he was saying, wait, be patient, wait and watch. For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. To back that up. So wait, watch, and the tares will reveal themselves. And that's where we've gotten to the past 2 weeks, in a nutshell. So you wait, you watch, and now the tares reveal themselves. But then what? What do we do now with all these tares? So let's go back to the parable for a minute. Let both grow together until the harvest. So they've both grown, they've both gone up, and now we know what's the truth and what's the lie. Not all the truths, not all the lies, but we know this specific instance that we're looking at. And in the time of the harvest, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them. So burning the tares is the next step to that. We've waited patiently. The truth has revealed itself, but so is the tares. So now we burn them. So everybody knows how tares work. Think of this as lies. Deceit. Infiltration. Let's not even think of it as lies. Just think of this as sin. Any kind of sin. Think of it in your own lives. Think of it in the world. Think of your communities. Everywhere. You go out into your wheat field, you see one. Okay, it's one. It's not that bad, right? But then you wait. Now there's one or two. Still easy to see. I can tell what's wheat and what's not looking at this picture. I can still tell what's wheat and what's not by looking at the picture, but there's starting to be a lot more of the other stuff now, right? Now I got a lot of tares. I know that they're tares. I can clearly look and see that there are tares growing amongst the wheat. That part's over with. But I've waited. And I've waited. And I didn't burn them. And I didn't do anything about it. And now, my field is desolate with it. So that was the point of burning the tares, right? So you wait for the truth and the lies, but us as Christians lately have really been dropping the ball at burning the tares. We want to make peace with the tares. We want to accept the tares. We want to pray for the tares, which we're supposed to. I'm not saying these are wrong things. I'm just saying at a certain point, you got to get the tares out of the field where there's no wheat left. Do you see what I'm saying in this? At a certain point, you're going to be looking to try to find wheat instead of looking to try to find the tares. You're going to be waiting to see what part of this you can eat and what part you can't. So somewhere, at some point, for some reason, we stopped. We stopped cutting out and burning the tares. We let them grow, we got the wheat, left the tares. Next year we let it grow, we got a little bit less wheat, let them grow. To the point where the world's in the state it's in today. And nobody to look at but a mirror. Nobody. There's nothing to blame. Blame Satan all day. He's been here from the beginning. But the church fought him. Church fought harder, and we haven't fought. Not one little bit. Not one little bit have we fought. This is where my head's at all the time, if you ever wonder why I'm mad and crazy sometimes. I blame myself. I blame a lot of people. I blame a lot of us. Why isn't anybody doing anything about any of this? Sometimes it's not clear what to do. But we stopped burning the tares. And that's one of the problems that we're having right now if you want to take it in this parable sense. Somewhere along the lines, we stopped being ruled and listening to and governed by the church and started being ruled and governed by these people. The people who want you dead, right? People who don't care about you. So instead of fighting the demons like we used to and listening to God and fighting on behalf of God, we invite them in to use what we have and all of that. All of them. Invite them in. Just let them walk right in. Resist. Don't worry, sister. We're not resisting anything anymore. You picked the perfect time. Just come on in. Jesus said, suffer the little children. Protect your communities. Protect your families. Protect the kids. And now, we offer the kids up as sacrifices to this stuff. What could go wrong, right? Surprise! What did we learn in the first lesson of this? Check the date. Yes. That was like last week. So, surprise, guys. Hope you know you're doing that. But I mean, we can look at it and be like, oh, isn't the world getting crazy? Come on. It's been crazy for a while. It's not like we didn't get warning. It's not like we haven't been doing this for a long time. Looking at you guys. So for the story of the priest, and they make a good point. They're like, well, this happened, but what about the church? Your priests do it. Like, yeah, our pedophile priests. They're not priests. Those are still pedophiles, no matter how you look at it. Don't call them even Christian at that point. Christians didn't do that. So it's evil. We've been infiltrated for a long time, and still, nobody's done anything about it. What happens when they get caught? Anybody know? Somebody does. If you get caught and you are a high enough rank in the Catholic Church or any organized church, you get caught doing something really bad, like, you know, the old Catholic stereotype of priests are weird with kids, you get moved to a new country that doesn't speak English very good. You get to keep your office, keep your pay, keep all that. Real Christian, right? So somewhere we've been dropping the ball and not taking care of the problem. But my line is, can we kill these people? That's just mine. I don't know if we're allowed to or not. That's why I struggle with all this. That's why I bring this forth. Hopefully somebody will help me. I feel like it. I would like to take every one of them out there. There's a lot of people in the community that's been hurt by this kind of stuff. There's a lot of people probably in the church that's been hurt by this kind of stuff. And just know that for me, I would have them all lined up and capped. But that's why I'm not God, because I would... Revelation would have already happened like 2 years after Jesus died. I'm like, all right, well, I'm tired of this. Let's get him out of here. God's got plans and I don't. That's why he's God and not me. So I got to listen to him. I got to submit to him. But that's where I'm at with all that. So let's look at the church of Corinth. Let's look at what they would do. What would Paul do if he came back and talked to us right now? The funny thing is, we don't even have to change the message. I speak to your shame. First thing he would say is, I'm ashamed of all of you, first and foremost. And they would all say that to us. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? Like, why are you all so stupid and you're faithless? You let all this stuff into your church and wonder, oh, why do we have problems? You tarnish everything that's worked for thousands of years. You accept fake over anything that's real. You would rather go chop a tree on a video game than chop a tree in real life. Think about that, and think about all the kids. They're choosing the fake stuff over real stuff now because the real stuff's gotten too hard or just too, I don't know. But no, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren, because you all don't even know anymore. You've got so many weeds and tares you can't judge because you got to find the wheat. It's harder to find now. Now therefore, there is utterly a fault among you because you go to law with one another. There's in the church. We fight with each other, ourselves. Left side, right side, Democrat, Republican, Baptist, Catholic, whatever. To the point where we're not fighting the bad guys anymore. We're fighting each other. And it's only the good guys that care. You think a criminal is Democrat or Republican? No, I don't care. I don't care one bit. So why do you not rather take the wrong? Why do you not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Nay, ye do wrong and defraud, and that your brethren. You fight to yourselves. Stop doing that, first and foremost. But secondly, and Eric just preached about this, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? While you're fighting among yourselves, the tares out there are going crazy. They're growing and growing and growing. Why aren't you going out there and cutting the tares and burning them so we can get more wheat? Why aren't you going out to make more Christians instead of fighting Christians with yourselves? Why aren't you going out there fighting sin instead of pairing up and saying that we can live coexist, or whatever that saying is with all this? Well, you can't. It's not how it works. You see the fruit of coexisting. Be not deceived, neither fornicators, idolaters, adulterers, effeminate, nor abusers of themselves of mankind, thieves, covetous, drunkards, revilers, extortioners, none of those guys shall inherit the kingdom of God. So why not help them? Why fight amongst ourselves? Why not go out and destroy things that they're being lied to about? They're believing the lies. But it's not really their fault when they don't have Christians telling them otherwise. They don't have Christians cleaning out the field. So they don't know the difference between tares and wheat. They look really close to each other, right? As such were some of you, but ye are washed, ye are sanctified, but ye are justified in the name of the Lord Jesus, and by the Spirit of our God. So that is our responsibility, right? Are we not followers of Jesus? We're not followers of God? So what are we supposed to do? This is the important point I'm trying to make before we go militant. And this is why I don't go out and just take one for the team and start killing everybody until I get caught and thrown in prison and kill myself. Do not foster hatred for the sinner, for we are all guilty. That's a fact. That's for sure. Hate his sins and pray for him, so that you may be made like unto Christ, who had no dislike for sinners, but prayed for them. So we must pray for them. We must do that. But the war isn't against the actual person, which is why I'm holding off on the whole anger issue. But the war is against all the tares and the wheat, the truth and the lies that's going out to the public and what they're believing is true, because they don't have anybody to tell them different. Because Christians don't care. They say, yeah, sure, come on in and have your Islam services in my church because you don't have one. Hey, come on in and sin and do whatever you want in my church. As long as you're here, I don't care. Not exactly the best approach, or it would start working at some point, right? Am I right with all that? So what are we supposed to do then? Let's go to Ephesians 5. And have no fellowship with the unfruitful work of darkness. No, let's invite them all in and be pairs with them and coexist. And break the commandment right there. Break the law. Have no fellowship with unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. Think about all the secrets that most people have if they came to the surface. Even Christians, even some of us in here. So you got to reprove those other ones because you know. Don't let what you're keeping a secret keep you from stopping other people from doing the same thing even though you haven't told anybody about it. Reprove. What does it mean to reprove? It comes from the word to convict, convince, tell a fault, rebuke, reprove. If somebody's doing something wrong, you can go say, hey, you should not be doing that. But it's accepted now, and you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're a homophobe. Like, no, you just shouldn't be doing that. I'm saying that because I care about you. I'm saying that for you, not for me, not to prove my point, but to help yours. Like this guy. It's perfect. He says it's a TikTok about bro reading Bible verses to the trans kid. He's stopping him, won't let him walk. And he's bullying him with the Bible. Which is what we should start doing, right? Bullying with the Bible. I think anyway. So Ezekiel 3. What happens when we don't be like that kid? You can laugh, it's kind of funny about that kid, but he's doing the right thing. What happens if we don't? When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity. But his blood will be required at thine hand. So now it is your fault that you didn't go say that to him. Now it is our fault that the world's getting crazy like it is and we're not doing anything about it. Yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So you did your part, and now your hands are washed in the sight of God. Some people won't listen. Some tares want to be tares. This is all there is to it. But some don't, and some don't know any better. And that's our fault. That's our problem. So Psalm says it best. If we weren't supposed to do something against it, there wouldn't be all these verses telling us that they're supposed to. But who will rise up for me against the evildoers? The question of the times. The question of the age. Who's it going to be? What did John F. Kennedy, that dude, said? If not me, who? And if not now, when? Not us, who? So who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Or who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? Who's fighting for God right now? The Catholics stopped a long time ago, else they'd be crusading like crazy right now. So I can't really look at them. Baptists are pretty good and spiritual, but they stay back in the hollers and keep to themselves. A lot of good that does anybody else, right? I don't even go to all the Lutherans and all them. They're pretty bad right now. But who's going to fight for God? We all got to come together and stop fighting first. Right? We all got to come together and do this. You can pick your bad thing to fight against. You don't have to fight against all. If you're confused on someone, fight against one you know is bad. Wheat and tares will reveal themselves in time. I promise. I promise they'll all be revealed if you don't see it yet. But who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity? It's kind of the point of all of it tonight. You're allowed to fight back. You just got to do it biblically. You're allowed to do all these things, and you should be doing all these things. Matter of fact, there's actually punishment if you don't. Because in the end, the tares are going to get burned. It's just biblical. It's just the way it is. Tares are getting burned one way or the other. So it's our job, something we should be doing as Christians that we say we are, to keep that fire as small as possible. To keep the tares fire small and contained and not burning out of control to take out the whole field. That was quicker tonight, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright, I'll try to run through it and just get the point across pretty quick, but thanks for listening to me, hearing me out. And have your husband talk to you tonight.